Okay. Well, mind if I do an intro, I guess? Since I'll probably turn this into a video later, maybe a podcast or something. All right, cool. Was that your phone? Just that reverberation on my headset. Mm, felt that. Yeah. Wow. Hello, everybody. My name is Mattsuki, and welcome to the first podcast, I guess, on my main channel. Uh, Today I'm joined with my friend. It's like some rice. And he does like some rice.
I do.
Today we're going to be talking about the Modern Warfare 3 campaign and a lot of its like criticisms, I guess maybe hate or something. I'm not really sure, but I guess we'll dive into that now, huh?
Yeah. So for the people in my chat, hello. Yeah. I will kind of basically just restate what Mattsuki did. So
Let's go.
Dink Memer and Person Man Guy, thank you for stopping by. I just finished the Modern Warfare 3 campaign, and to be honest, it wasn't bad, like, at all. As you probably have seen, a lot of the people like reviewing it are giving it like fours, threes, twos, like or
Yeah.
maybe not twos. I don't know if I saw anything that low, but I thought it was funny though. So you know the worst games that came out this year, Mattsuki, like the Golem game and the Kong game.
Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't seen the Kong game, but I saw the Golem game.
Yes.
Oof.
So the Golem game got scored the exact same score as the Modern Warfare 3 campaign by IGN.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
No way.
let that sink in. So they gave it a 4. Um, yeah,
I can't even trust IGN.
yeah.
Like, that's insane.
Like, don't get me wrong. I think there are valid criticisms one can have with the campaign, but I when I was reading through their review, I struggled to understand the problems.
Okay.
But yeah, I so like first blush. I mean, what did you think of the campaign?
Well, I would probably give it like a solid 8 out of 10. Like I really enjoyed it. I'm not really sure why. Like I haven't seen too many reviews myself on why people don't like the campaign yet. I've watched like Merc Music sort of review of it on it, and like the thumbnail and whatever kind of made it sound a little negative, I guess. But his review overall was pretty balanced. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't really like a extremely good campaign or an extremely bad one to him, but for the majority of the, I guess, backlash, I guess it just seems negative. Um,
Oh, hello, Gravity just stopped by. Hello. I will make sure. He asked if he should be here if he doesn't want any spoilers. I will make sure that if I or
ooh,
Matsuki am about to give any kind of spoiler like talk, we will give a big spoiler warning before we say any spoiler-ish things. Does that sound fair?
yeah. Should we just try to do non-spoilery at the
Yeah.
start and then maybe dive into spoilers like
Yeah,
later?
I'm good with that. Why don't we? He says, appreciate that, boo. Absolutely,
Yeah.
I am totally fine with that. Dink Memer asks, how bad is the campaign scale of 1 to 10? I mean, if we're going backwards, I would say it's only a 2 out of 10 being bad.
Oh,
I
so you also give it an 8 out of 10 for good.
I would say, yeah. I mean, I'm very much in this similar mindset to you.
Mhm.
Oh, Grav says Rice and Matsuki crossover wasn't on his bingo card, but he's all
Yeah,
for
I'm here. Hi.
it. So the first thing I think that stuck out to me that was weird is a lot of people calling it a short campaign. I agree that it's
Oh yeah.
short, but also isn't every Call of Duty campaign short? Like I will give you a little bit of background, like Call of Duty wise for me. I played Modern
Mhm.
Warfare 2 back in the day, so 2009. That was like the first Call of Duty I played, and then the last time I got into Call of Duty was Modern Warfare 2019, and I've kind of been keeping up with them since that one.
Oh, okay.
So like I'm very I'm very strange with my Call of Duty like lore, but I know a lot
It's
about all the campaigns. I know about the characters and everything. And Modern Warfare for me has always been my favorite story, like out of all the Call of Duties. But
Mhm.
from my understanding, all of the Call of Duty campaigns are short. Like, I don't think there's really a long Call of Duty campaign, is there?
Ooh,
Like, what's the longest one? Would it be like 6, 7 hours?
feel like, hmm, yeah, probably around, probably 8, maybe 9.
Okay. And I'm assuming that's probably a Black Ops game, right?
I'm feeling it's either Black Ops 2 or Infinite Warfare because they all have like the side missions that aren't like required to play, but if you do them, it's going to be longer.
Yeah. I would say for me, so I played about a little over half of this campaign last night. And I want to say that it probably. I played about 3 hours last night, and then I played about 2 hours tonight or today. So it probably took me maybe 5 hours to beat this campaign. I would say.
Mhm.
So
Me personally, it
yeah.
took like I live streamed it all, right?
Mhm.
My first live stream we had 3 hours and 15 minutes. My second one another 3 hours and 15 minutes. So
Oh, nice.
about 6 hours and 30 minutes total for me. And I played on hardened difficulty, so
Oh,
it
okay.
wasn't like a breeze to go through, but it
Yeah.
was. I want it to be a little challenging.
Yeah, I played it on regular, I believe. I considered
Mhm.
playing it on hardened because I think I played Modern Warfare 2's campaign on hardened, but I kind of wanted to I wanted to address a couple criticisms that we'll discuss a little later. So I tried regular first, and yeah, it was a really great experience. I thought.
That's good.
Yeah,
I thought there was a lot to do in the open combat missions that other Call of Duty campaigns just like don't have.
yeah. So
Like,
should we address those? Because I feel like a lot of the criticisms or a lot of the reviews that I've seen have been calling a lot of them have just been calling like the game one big Warzone mission, and I think that's really doing it an injustice personally because there's only like what 3 missions that are really like that, 3 or 4, I think.
yeah, I don't really think the open combat missions are like really inflating the game that much, unless you're just like trying to speedrun it. And there's only like I think it was 4 or 5 like they were actually open combat. Like some of them you could maybe sway to be open combat, but like other Call of Duty campaigns have had like open levels sort of like that too.
Yeah, like Modern Warfare 2 last year had that I mean it had the one mission where you're like running
On the
as
island in the ghillie
yes.
suits. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I even forgot about that. I forgot that that was kind of open. So there was that mission, and then there was the
Mhm.
one where you're kind of like scrounging for, you're kind of scrounging to like get your weapons and things like that. And yeah, I
Oh, the all alone mission with Soap, I think, right?
yes, with Ghost kind of being in your ear and him kind of like
Yes.
yes, I enjoyed that mission quite a bit. But yeah, I was really confused by like everybody being like, "Oh, this is just one big Warzone prep," and I'm like, I mean, not really, because like it has a lot of traditional like Call of Duty missions.
And each one was like, I would say different enough to be memorable. Like I could differentiate each one individually and tell you what it's about.
100%.
Uh, it's not like every one of them is to go from point A to point B to complete the mission. You actually have to do stuff on them too and scavenge around, like you kind of mentioned in that soap mission.
Yeah.
You're not really crafting stuff, but you are still scavenging for stuff in chests and crates to, I guess, unlock new areas. If you want to zip line, you need that grappling hook sort of thing.
Yes. I also realized too that in order to, I'm just gonna put a little bit of Modern Warfare 3 beta gameplay on in the background here, so people can actually watch something while I'm talking.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Um, Yeah, so BG says he heard the campaign was awful. I mean, yeah, that seems to be the general consensus, but like the thing is, I don't know how many of the people saying it's awful have actually played it. Like that's the
hmm
part that I'm curious about because the reviewers say it's awful, but I mean, every review I've read seems to kind of be missing the mark a little bit. They seem to be a little disingenuous because like a good example is one review. So I used to watch Griffin Gaming, and he put out a
Oh
review
yeah.
for the campaign, And he's a huge Call of Duty fan, so I was like, oh, okay, well, he probably liked it. And he actually hated it, which I was like, really? Like, I'm surprised he hated it. But he said that
Wow.
there was only like an hour of gameplay, and I'm like, not at all. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, he's like,
No.
oh, it's like 2/3 cutscenes and like an hour of gameplay, and I'm like, not at all, man. Like, did we play the same game?
Yeah, that just feels incredibly disingenuous. Like,
Yeah, and so I will say, I actually personally liked this campaign better than last year's campaign. I didn't dislike last year's campaign, but I certainly understood people's like complaints saying that it felt a little slow. I personally think it was just deliberately paced. Like I think it was supposed to be more what's the word? Like tactical, like maybe more espionage focused.
mm, I guess so.
I mean, I kind of personally got that feeling, but like this is very much like, hey, we finally have Makarov. Like now is the time that we're going to give you, like, the giant grand like fight with him.
Yeah, now's his time to shine and get into the action and start setting up some like world threats for us.
Yeah, and I mean their version. I won't spoil it here, but their version of No Russian,
Hmm.
it's very it's very real. In a
Lives up
way,
to the original, I think.
I thought so too. Like when I was watching it, I was like, "This is horrifying," because this feels pretty real, honestly.
Yeah, pretty scary to be in the shoes of you're the person you're playing as. Obviously, won't dive into it, but yeah,
Yeah, no, yeah, no. We'll keep all spoilers free. If anybody in the chat would like to also keep spoilers free,
that'd be great.
yes, please, because I
I
see
would
a
also
possible spoiler. uh,
I was also wanting to ask you, like, what did you think of, like, I guess MW19's campaign and MW2's in comparison? Like, what would you rate those two campaigns?
so 2019, I liked a lot. I
Mhm.
really thought it was a good switch up from what the originals did, especially because 20 or sorry, Modern Warfare 2 was so focused on Makarov, and then same with Modern Warfare 3, and I liked the setting change to some extent. I mean, obviously we still have some similar settings, but I thought Farah, however you say her name, I liked her story a lot. And
Mhm.
her brother I thought was a really cool villain.
Yeah,
Um,
Hadir, he was set up pretty well in MW19.
he
I liked
was,
him there.
and I liked the focus on the more like let's work together with the East rather than like focus on them as the enemy. I liked that a
Hmm.
lot. And then so the way that they like focused on a whole different theme in two, I was like kind of surprised because I was like, oh, are we not gonna like, are we gonna have this as a whole different, are we gonna have this as like a whole different story? Is each game gonna be its own different story? Like it's not gonna connect. But
Yeah, because
I thought this like wrapped more closely to the first game.
yeah, I kind of agree there too. This one, MW3's felt more grounded and almost real. Like MW2's, like it almost felt more action movie like, I guess you could say. Um, like
Yeah,
the whole vibe of it is different from 2019.
like this is gonna sound like a weird comparison, but MW2 for me almost felt like a James Bond. Uh, it's a weird comparison, I know, but like I feel like when I think of the missions, like I think about that one mission where you have to like I I don't remember what it is you stab at him, but like there's like a pen that you have to stab that dude with, like the little epi looking pen. Uh,
Oh, yeah. In
yeah,
the mission in the what place was that again? Somewhere in
uh,
Europe.
yeah, somewhere in Europe. It's like not Stalingrad, but like one of those like European towns.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, it's just it
A
was
weird
like,
mission.
yeah, it's like a lot of like weird like espionage, like we're gonna sneak around, and then oh, there's a betrayal, and it kind of felt like the betrayal was because Modern Warfare 2 had a betrayal, that we have to have the betrayal. And I
Hmm.
thought Modern Warfare 3 felt more like I didn't feel like it was trying to subvert my expectations like everything else these days is, and I appreciated that. You know, like
Yeah.
I felt like it was like, hey, like we know you want Makarov, and we know you want a big like terrorist attack from him, and you want to play some really cool missions, and we're also going to throw in a couple things that feel like Warzone, and that's the campaign.
Yeah. I think the smaller development time also like put some constraints on what they could make. So I
Yeah,
found it kind of understandable that they could have some Warzone sections of the map in the campaign. My only like hopes, I guess, for like if they ever want to do this again, is to always make the campaign first and put Warzone secondary on there. Like, don't just take a Warzone location and put it into the campaign. Rather, make the campaign level and then put that into Warzone on the same map.
absolutely. I
And I
think
feel like they did do that here.
yeah, I definitely agree. I think one thing that I was confused by is a lot of reviews were saying that it felt boring, which
Yeah,
I don't really understand because a lot of the normal Call of Duty missions felt very I mean it felt
on the
very like
rails,
yeah, it felt like it about as on
linear.
rails. Like I'll say the words Verdansk. I won't say what happens in Verdansk, but it's very much like a traditional Call of Duty mission, and it's very action packed.
Yes.
I don't know
Yeah.
how you could play that mission and be bored at all. Or like the opening
Story
mission.
wise, gameplay wise, it was good.
Yeah, the opening mission had my attention like immediately. Like I
With the
remember,
gulag.
yeah, the Gulag. There
Okay.
was
Yeah.
a part. So I will say I didn't realize what was happening until close to the end of that, or close to the strong point in that mission. And
Yeah.
then
Same.
when I realized what was happening, I was like, oh, this is very cool. Like, I just took me by surprise, and I really liked the different perspectives that the campaign offers. Because it
Yeah, it
like
was like, oh shit, I'm on this team. Yeah.
yes, yes, because like you don't get to play like from different like a lot of different perspectives a lot of the time in some Call of Duty
Mhm.
campaigns. And so like when they switch it up and they make it like so you don't know, like that's great. I thought that
Yeah.
part was awesome.
I really thought it was gonna kind of be like the original MW2, I believe, where you get to free Captain Price from the Gulag, right? And
Mm-hmm.
maybe explain it later on, but like, yeah, that subverted my expectations.
Yes, and that, like that's the type of stuff where I thought they did it smart because they were like,
Yes.
we're gonna subvert your expectations, but we're doing it in a way that's very classic, and it's
Mhm.
very like I don't know, it's like what I would expect from like an old school Call of Duty campaign to some extent. Um,
And it wasn't like dun dun dun. It was more like, oh yeah, okay, I realize what we're doing
yeah, it
now.
was real subtle, like because like when you realize what's happening, it wasn't like isn't this crazy? It was like
Yeah.
oh, it
It all
was
makes
just
sense
yeah.
now. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
it was smooth. It was played off well, and I was really intrigued.
yeah. I also thought that this narrative had better pacing than last year's. Um,
Yeah.
like
So
last year, it was good. It wasn't bad, but I definitely felt like there was less downtime in this one.
mhm. If I could get into I guess my comparison with MW19, MW2, and MW3 first, that
Hmm.
would be great.
Yeah.
Okay. So MW19 for me though, like I thought it was I thought the story was pretty good. But the gameplay I felt like it wasn't the most interesting. Like you had some really good missions, like say Clean House, where you're going
Hmm.
like up the apartments.
Clean House was a big standout.
Yeah, and I think it was you had night vision on that map too, right?
Uh huh.
And each room was like filled with a different sort of like enemies or obstacles. That was a really good mission, but then you had other missions that I thought stretched out too long or were a little bit boring. Um, Maybe like the Road to Death mission, I guess that one I think stretched out too long. It was the one
Yes.
where you're like a sniper,
Yeah.
and
Yes. I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yeah. Some of those
yeah,
later ones felt a little long in the tooth, for
yeah.
sure.
So overall, I think I'd give MW19 like a nice 7 out of 10. Like story probably an 8, gameplay maybe a 6, so it rounds up to 7. MW2 though, I didn't like how it connected to MW19, and I did kind of like appreciate how they went for that sort of new action movie sort of what do you call that, pacing maybe,
Yeah,
or
yeah, that
feel to
more
it, maybe classic Call of Duty feel. I'm not sure how to explain it.
yeah, it was very it just felt really different, I thought.
Yeah, tonally it was just too different. So I mean, it didn't like affect me in my rating too much of that game in a contained sort of bubble, but overall, I just think it goes down a little bit because it didn't follow the same sort of tone as MW19. The missions though, they were super fun. I thought in MW2's campaign. The
Yeah.
story though is what I think makes the downfall of Modern Warfare 2's campaign, and I would give it a 7 out of 10 as well because I think in this one, MW2, the it's like the opposite of MW19. The story is a 6, but the gameplay is like an 8.
Yeah. I thought the gameplay was definitely a step up, but like yeah, I would agree the story felt lacking. I
It had
liked
a lot of plot holes, I thought.
Yes, yes. I liked the characters of Graves and
Oh
what's the
yeah,
other was it
Valeria maybe,
uh yeah, what's the
Alejandro.
yes, thank you. Alejandro. I liked those two characters a lot.
Hmm.
But I just thought that they're like I don't know. I was so kind of confused by like how they were brought into the game. Like there wasn't like I didn't think their introduction was as good as it could have been.
Introduction wise, I was more disappointed with Soap's introduction in MW2.
That's fair. Yeah.
I think Soap in the original series, he got that classic sort of what kind of name is Soap sort of introduction, right?
Yeah.
They kind of shoehorned that in there. I forget who said it, but it didn't have the same impact, and also you didn't have the introduction of Soap. Gaz was kind of the new Soap of this trilogy.
Yes. Most definitely.
So yeah, when a lot of people complain about, I guess, I won't say any spoilers, but when people complain about Soap in MW3, I think it's more of a problem with MW2's Soap. More so that because we didn't like bond with him as much in that game.
Yeah.
And I think that negatively affected the next game, but MW3 did the best with what it had, I thought.
Yeah. I would definitely agree. I mean, and I like a lot of the dialogue back and forth between Soap and Ghost.
Ghost?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I really appreciated that their banter in that one mission kind of carries over into this game a little bit. Like, it kind of felt like that mission bonded them, and so it really made them closer, like, as teammates.
Mhm.
And I don't know, I just thought that that really shone through. And I was like, oh, that's a really cool attention to detail.
Yeah, it wasn't like there was no substance at all, but I do feel like it could have been a little bit better. I did like that he did bond at least with the team, the task
Yes.
force, one for one.
Yes, there was definitely a camaraderie, and I liked the whole like setup of like, hey, it's very clear that 141 is very tight knit, and you know they're ride or die. They're
Yeah,
very much for each other.
they're tight with each other.
I was gonna say too, real quick to my chat, if any of you guys have any questions, do feel free to start asking them, and then when we get to a point, I will go ahead and we can kind of open it up to answering any
Yeah,
questions you guys might have.
I'd be so down for that.
Yeah, yeah, I would love to answer any questions as far as like something specific or obviously try to keep spoiler free, but yeah, I would be totally down to answer any questions. Um, as far as the open world mission structure, how do you think they handled that? Because I think that that's the one thing that I feel I've heard a lot of people like talking badly about, but I didn't think it was like badly handled. Maybe I could understand maybe mediocrely handled, but I wouldn't say bad.
Yeah, not definitely not bad. If we want to go through the missions one by one, we could easily do that. Like the first one is actually in the campaign is with Farah, I believe,
Yeah.
where you're in the shipping bay. or the loading docks,
Yep.
whatever you want to call it.
I
There's a
liked
lot
the
of
setup.
verticality. There's
Yeah.
like parachute equipment you can find. I thought there was a lot to do on that map.
Yeah, I liked the sorry, I just read Crab's comment. He said, "When is Racist Master Chief running OG Fortnite with me and Jared?" Racist Master Chief does need to make a comeback.
He's
It
making a comeback.
Yeah, he needs to, honestly. I The problem is that I have like out of all of the live service games, Call of Duty seems to have been the one that Racist Master Chief gravitated towards. But I
Oh.
can guarantee you now that Xbox owns them, I will definitely get the. I almost called it the Racist Master Chief skin. That'll be exclusive to me. Um, yeah, no, I'm really excited for them to put like a Master Chief skin in here. But yeah, though I think the mission with Farah I thought was really really good because they introduce it pretty well, like
Yeah.
mapping everything out. It kind of reminded me. Did you ever play Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes?
Sorry, no, I haven't. No,
Okay,
sorry.
so it really reminded me of that, where
Mhm.
it's like really going for the whole like here is a small, well, a big area, but it's like focused, and you can you can basically tackle this in any order you want. Like you have an objective, but you can go about it however you want. And I like the fact that the AI allows itself to like you can hide basically, like because a lot of the
Yeah,
times I
you
feel
could
like
actually like get back into stealth mode after
yeah.
you've engaged in combat, which is a problem in the previous two MW games.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest things is like once you've gone loud, you can't really go stealthy again. And I
Mhm.
think the fact that they were able to do that, I thought was great. I was like, "Oh, finally." Like the fact that there's actually an indicator for it and the fact that you can actually like, run away and hide again. Not like a Batman Arkham, but I mean, I guess for lack of a better comparison, that was kind of what it reminded me of. Like, oh, like I swung from a couple of gargoyles and or I climbed up a couple shipping containers and now I can you can't see me anymore now. Like that's cool that we finally have that.
Mhm. I also think that they introduced it very well too. Like, all the clues that they gave you to like just to work with, like your mini map turns yellow, I guess, like to more explain these mechanics. Like, the mini map will turn yellow if you're suspicious, and it'll turn red once you've been detected and the enemies are engaged in combat with you.
Yeah.
Uh,
I thought that was a clever way of doing it too to like not rip off Far Cry. Like as a big Far Cry fan, I was kind of happy to see that Call of Duty was like, yeah, we're not gonna just copy and paste the same HUD for Far Cry and make it exactly
yeah.
like that. I was like, oh, it's like mini map based. I was like, that's kind of cool because then it doesn't like mess with the vision of you actually fighting anybody. And it allows like I don't know the immersion to some extent, like to stay. And I don't know, I really appreciated that.
Yeah, the only game that I've played, I guess it's kind of similar, would have been like Ghost Recon Wildlands and Breakpoint.
Yeah, that's a good
But
comparison.
yeah, another thing like to do with the open combat missions, like something unique to them was the whole weapon crates that are basically the same as intel that you could find in the old MW trilogy in those campaigns.
Yeah. I was also surprised too to see that like not only did they offer like loadouts, but they offered like the kill streaks, and they offered like
Mhm.
a lot of the upgrades and things that you would get in those. I was kind of surprised by that, but I was like, oh, that's actually really helpful because like if you're gonna take on this massive amount of enemies, it makes sense that you would have a little backup, and then you're not just a one man army because realistically in the
Yeah.
story like it would be obviously with Call of Duty it kind of feels like you're a one man army, but this like really grounds it. I thought.
Mhm. I think rarely did they actually send you in like unprepared. I think Far's mission would have been the most unprepared, like realistically, because she got like ambushed, right?
Yes.
But
Yeah. One thing I thought was strange is I heard so going back to the Griffin thing, Griffin was like,
Mhm.
"Oh yeah, in none of these missions do they give you any kind of weapons that are like significant for the mission that you're in. And I was like, I would disagree with that because like every mission you start off with something that would be ideal, but if you
Hmm.
want to, you can obviously switch things up, and it kind of encourages you to switch things up as the missions go on, which was a little bit different, I thought.
I think on the second open world mission, actually, you could like if you timed it right, you could pull your parachute early because well, this one is like the only mission where you actually come in with a parachute into the open world level. Uh, you time your parachute right, you can land on top of the crane, and you can find a sniper rifle up there.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you did that, but I did that, and it was pretty fun. I think it was a Victus or something,
yeah. There was
but
definitely a
you could just
few.
pick people off
Yeah, there was
and
definitely a
you play
few
it
times
totally
where
differently.
like you could totally find you could totally find weapons if you like looked around enough.
Hmm. And
And
on the
yeah,
the resort, I guess, island mission, I found a minigun on that island.
oh that's cool. Oh
Yeah,
wait. Is that the one with the cabanas?
the it had it's the mission that had you trying to get Melina.
Yes. The reason
That
I was
one.
thinking of the cabanas, so I don't know if you got this part of dialogue, but there was a really funny part of dialogue where
Oh,
if you go into one of those little cabanas, Soap goes, he's like, "What the hell do you call these?" And Ghost is like, he's like, "I believe those are called cabanas, Soap." And he goes, okay. And then he's like, he makes some joke about cabanas. And then what's funny is after he knows that they're called cabanas, if you go into another one, he goes, I'm entering the cabana. And I'm like, that's really cool. Like,
cool.
that's such a cool attention
Yeah.
to detail.
I noticed on that mission too, if you like aim at the large ship, they're like, "That's a fucking big boat."
Yeah. And then, like, if you did you climb on any of the boats at all? Like, any of the little,
Oh yeah, I did.
yeah.
And they're like playing around in there.
Yeah, Price was like, "Get off the fucking boat." So he's like, "We don't have time for this shit."
Yeah, that was great. I love that. And there's like one of the garages in the back where you can find a what was it? There's like a whole bunch of cars there, like fancy cars, like
Oh yeah,
BO2
and he's
style
like,
almost.
"Holy crap, you've got to see this garage." And I was
Yeah,
like,
with all these rides.
"Yeah," I was like, "Man, the
Yeah.
dialogue is so good." I was like, "It's so cool that they like actually like thought to put so much detail in all this, especially when
Yeah.
it seemed like people just wouldn't care." But like, there's so many instances like that that I was like, "Oh, this is really like really good." Surprisingly,
And in that fancy garage, you could find a gold weapon in the weapon chest in there.
yeah. Oh yeah, did you find the akimbo pistols too?
Oh, I did, yeah.
Yeah, that
I
was
also found
great.
this.
I found those, and then I found like that one. It wasn't an M4, but like maybe a Kastov, and I was like, "Oh, this is really cool."
Hmm. That was a really fun mission. I think that might have been my favorite of the open world ones.
I would agree. I think that was like a really well paced one, especially for being like more open. I also
Mhm.
actually kind of liked the one where you play as Ghost and you have to defuse the bombs. I
It
won't
was
spoil anything more than
yeah,
that, but like the one where you have to like defuse bombs on the dam.
yeah, the Verdansk Dam. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
really
remember it.
really liked I liked the setting for that a lot, and I liked the fact like I really like how stealthy you could be. Like I don't know, like just the fact that you had such good options for stealth made me
Yeah,
feel
there was
really good.
water you could hide into.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I guess it's another one where you can parachute into the map.
Yeah. And
But
then what's cool is you have the challenge of like having to be careful when you're sliding down the dam because you can parachute, but if you hit like the ramp of the dam, you're gonna automatically slide. And there's like a
mm,
sniper right there. So you have to like
oh
kind of
yeah,
carefully slide down because if you slide down too fast, he'll see you.
wait, you could actually like slide down the dam itself.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't do that, but I'll definitely be replaying this campaign and trying that out.
Yeah. So if you hit the so when you're parachuting, I wanted to kind of go. I saw him when I was like pulling the binoculars out and like kind of
Mhm.
marking everybody, and I was like, oh, I was like, I see that one sniper. I was like, well, I don't really want him to see me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like try to take him out quietly. So I jumped down, but then when I had the parachute out, I accidentally hit the back of the dam, and I started sliding automatically because it was like wet.
Yeah.
And so like I had to really carefully like not let him see me, because otherwise if I slid down too fast he would.
Right. Right.
Yeah, but it was like such a cool attention to detail. I was like, man, I was like, I
Yeah.
understand that there's like people get upset with like, oh well, they're reusing assets, but I'm like, there's still so much detail though put into this game.
I know, right? Like, uh, it's sad. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, well, and it's sad too because like everybody's just assuming it's bad because the zeitgeist seems to be to say it's bad. But like I really hope that people give it a shot. Now granted, there's the whole question of should you spend the money if you are just wanting to play the campaign. I don't know that
Right.
I've ever been able to say you should, spend $70 on a Call of Duty game for just the campaign.
Oh. Oh, same. Yeah.
Yeah, but like if you're gonna buy the game to play the multiplayer or zombies anyway, I mean the campaign is just a bonus, I think.
Honestly, yeah. I'd probably pay 70 for the like. Not trying to give anyone ideas, but I would probably pay the 70 for the multiplayer and zombies alone.
Exactly. I mean people did for Black Ops 4. So
Oh, that's true.
yeah, yeah, I mean,
Like,
uh
sure, there was blackout, but that's not a mode that's gonna live for as long as a campaign will.
no.
It
Grab
died pretty
does
quickly.
ask, he asks, what are our thoughts and predictions on zombies?
I don't want to spoil anything. Like
I'm
some stuff happens in the campaign that does not line up with zombies, so I just want to put that out there.
I'm personally really excited. After playing the campaign, I could see how they could totally implement zombies into this. I think, and I'm excited. All I gotta say is, I think they picked probably the best possible Modern Warfare to put zombies in because it
Mhm.
makes sense given the fact that Makarov is a terrorist. I'll leave it at
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
um.
especially too if you connect some of the weapons or things that are in Modern Warfare 2019, I could see that maybe taking place.
Wait, what specifically are you talking about?
I was thinking of like the white phosphorus and like maybe the chemicals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like in conjunction with that like purple, like that new purple gas.
Hmm.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I could definitely see that too.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of neat.
To be fair, I'm completely like blind on zombies lore. I'm actually still trying to like get myself up to date on that stuff. But as a newer zombies fan, thankfully to Grav for that one, I personally think that there's a lot of potential, and I'm honestly really excited. Like almost half the reason I bought this game specifically was for zombies. A
Yeah.
because I'm just a big zombies like nut in general. Like not the mode, but like the creature.
The gameplay itself.
Yeah, like just like anything that has zombies in it, like Walking Dead or State of Decay or
Oh, so more like the aesthetic, right?
yes, exactly. So and then to realize that I hadn't really played any of the zombies modes up until like maybe a year or two ago, made me
Mhm.
feel really dumb because I was like, how am I such a big fan of like zombies in general, but I haven't played zombies?
Yeah, there were some bangers.
Yeah, no, there were.
Uh,
Cold War might be
Cold
my
War, yeah.
favorite zombies.
Oh, it's my favorite zombies.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so good. It's just so good. Black Ops 3 obviously is very good, but Cold War, I love the way Cold War feels.
Hmm. Um, One thing I want to interject here is
Yeah.
that like, did you ever see the COD Next event this year?
I watched some of it. I didn't get to watch all of it, but I got to watch some of it.
Did you see where they talked about zombies and I believe his name was Zakayev still being alive?
Oh, no, I didn't hear that part.
Okay, so yeah, basically the TLDR zombies dev said that Zakayev's still alive and that Like, if you're wondering why, well, you didn't see his death, was what he said, right? Um, if you saw the seasonal cutscenes for Modern Warfare 2019, the last one has his death, right?
Hmm.
And so people are like, oh, well, why is he in zombies now? And so he's like, oh, well, you didn't see his death. Maybe there was water below the missile silo. He didn't fall to his death there,
That's the
but
most Walking Dead
he would have died.
answer I've ever heard in my entire life. Because like my canon, like my head canon for The Walking Dead is if you don't see somebody die in The Walking Dead, they're still alive. Like, and that's the most Walking Dead answer I've ever heard.
Yeah, people weren't really happy with it though, just because like we've been to the missile silo in game and there's no water there, and it would have burnt him alive anyway if he if he lived that from that 2 story or 3 story fall. But since he's in zombies, right, a dead character, I just want to say that like I think that kind of kind of proves like with this MW3 campaign, if you've seen the trailer for zombies, you know who's in it. I think this kind of now proves that zombies and campaign aren't connected, and he was trying to be like a red herring in the whole thing.
Interesting. I could certainly see that. BG says that Modern Warfare 3 would be better if we got the Thug Shaker unit.
A thug shaker unit. Wait, what's that?
I would have to assume. Oh, whoops. Sorry.
My alarm just went off too.
Oh, good. You just let me know if you gotta get out of here.
No, I'm good. I should be good.
Okay, cool. And then Grav said Zombies takes place between MW19 and Modern Warfare 2022.
Does it? 100%?
I mean, if anybody would know, I feel like Grav would be the one. He said also Zombies is connected to Campaign, but Campaign is not connected to Zombies.
I don't think that's confirmed, but that is what my headcanon is also.
I could certainly see that. Yeah, he did say
I would
100%.
prefer.
He said
I'd prefer that.
100% for where it takes place as well.
Okay. I would definitely prefer the zombies to be like involved with campaign, but I don't think vice versa. Like I don't think campaign should be connected to zombies at all. Like the events should not cross over 100% between each of them. Like a Marvel Cinematic Universe, I don't want that. I think that just kind of like takes the stakes away. Like
Yeah,
Makarov, he bring up the stakes a lot in this game, but at the same time, zombies are a much greater threat.
I do love the idea of a zombie Makarov, though.
Which is cool if the zombies and campaign are kind of intertwined, like where you have the same characters from the campaign in zombies, right? So like
Yes.
a Makarov in zombies would be sick. I would like that.
That would be a great skin, honestly.
Makarov's zombie uniform.
I won't spoil anything, but I would like to see a couple of zombified skins for our 141 task force. Like
Yeah,
aside
we already
from
have
just
one for Ghost. Yeah.
yeah, aside from
Um.
Ghost, I would love like a Captain Price one.
Ooh. Yeah, me
That would
too.
be so cool.
Sort of like extinction style uniform.
Yeah. Oh God,
That's what I'm
Extinction.
thinking.
I haven't heard that name in a while. I think that was actually probably like the last time that I got to like touch a Call of Duty before the 2019 one.
Okay. So you played a lot of Extinction, or
I got to play a little Extinction. Didn't get to play a ton of
okay?
Extinction, but the little bit I did, I actually liked, and I thought it was kind of underrated.
Yeah, yeah, Extinction for the most part was kind of disliked, but I liked it for what I played.
Yeah,
It's not as replayable though. Like I would say again, like this MW3 campaign is pretty replayable in comparison to a lot of COD
yeah.
linear levels.
I think one thing that I get kind of confused on, and maybe it's just because I'm a little bit newer as like a full hardy like Call of Duty fan now, because like if you would have asked me when I played 2019 if I was a full like Call of Duty fan, I would have probably told you no. Like this is just like my first foray back into it. But like if you ask me now, I would say yeah, I'm a hardcore Call of Duty fan. And I think I like because like I have like 200 hours now in Modern Warfare 2.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think
200?
yes.
Let's see what I
Um,
got. I got
yeah,
about
probably nowhere near, but probably way more than.
681 hours.
Oh, well, wait. I
Yes,
have more
sir.
than you.
Wait, you have how much?
Wait, I have 200.
I have 881.
Oh, 800. Okay, sorry. I thought you said
Yeah.
180. I was like, I feel like that's
No, no,
really
no,
low
no,
for
no.
you, Mattsuki.
Yeah, I got a lot.
Yeah.
About
But
four
like
times
for
that.
me, the only other game that I have that many hours in, like modern game wise, is Destiny 2. Um, which
Okay.
I quit Destiny. I say quit it like I quit cigarettes, but I quit Destiny 2 because
That addicting.
I don't even want to say it was that addicting. It just like something fell off. Like I kind of hit like that thing where like it didn't feel as fun as it should. Um,
Hmm.
but but yeah, I don't know. Like I haven't been able to like like stop finding enjoyment in Modern Warfare 2. Or like Warzone or any of that. Like I found a lot of enjoyment, especially this year like with the haunting. I really got into the haunting.
Hmm.
Um
Hmm.
like the whole spawn thing, like all you had to do is be like, "Oh yeah, we're putting spawn in Call of Duty." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, yeah, now I'm a Call now I'm definitely a Call of Duty fan."
Yeah.
But yeah.
I did like the Warzone event as well. I thought it was pretty fun to play. I think it's still available right now.
Mhm. But yeah, I just like I would say that like I think the games kind of get unfairly hated on a lot because it's just like I mean like they're pretty solid. Like I don't really see a
I'm
lot.
surprised.
Yeah, like
Like I'm very much surprised just because like I never see this sort of hate generated towards a campaign. It's like always been multiplayer. People get burned out of multiplayer, but I've never seen it happen to a campaign. So that's why I'm just
yeah.
so like
Like the
I'm
last time I saw
baffled.
this much hate towards a campaign was maybe Ghosts or World War II, maybe.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like
But
I've
they were just
always
mediocre. They weren't bad, you know?
yeah,
Like people
exactly.
people are like, this is the worst campaign in COD, but I'm like, bro, did you play BO3 or Vanguard? Like Vanguard was recent.
Yeah. Like so I did play Vanguard. Vanguard like the only Call of Duty I didn't play in between all these was Cold War. I'm making my
Okay.
way back to it, but the only one I didn't play was Cold War. And I got to be honest, like Vanguard was the only one that I didn't finish. And I only didn't finish it because I thought it was a little underwhelming. I
Hmm.
just was like
Yeah,
I was just
it did pay off now.
yeah, I was like I don't particularly like love this. I was like it's not like bad, but it's not great.
Vanguard
Um
was basically a whole crew of characters we've never seen before. They have each of their own flashbacks, which are either 1 to 2 missions long, I believe. And then at the very end, like it's a short campaign too, by the way. I
mhm.
think it's as short as this campaign, except minus the open world missions. So imagine this game, but with more linear missions. uh, and at the very end, like, well, I can spoil it, I guess, since it's not really
Yeah,
impactful or
I don't think
emotional or
anybody's going to be
anything.
too butthurt about Vanguard spoilers,
Yeah,
honestly. Spoilers for a
they
two
get out
year
of
old game.
yeah 2-year-old game, bad game though. um, in my opinion, at least. The campaign it ends where you guys get out of jail and you kind of use all your abilities in one final level that you've like been shown, I guess, across all the other campaign levels. Like that's what I find people praise the most are the abilities, but I personally didn't really find them that unique or interesting. Like they're just like what I get one perk from multiplayer that lets me see the trajectory of grenades and my grenades like regenerate. That's like one ability. Another one's like what is it? Hold breath with your sniper and slow down time or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah, that was
With
so
Selena.
dumb because I was like, isn't that like a normal feature for every, like,
It was a feature in World War II in
yeah,
that campaign. You did it
exactly.
with every sniper. You didn't have to be Polina. So I don't know. I just found that kind of underwhelming. And like I understand that people kind of like that and swapping between all the operators on the final mission, but it was such a linear mission too. Like, uh,
Yeah, Vanguard
hmm.
was just like not, it was not it for me. Like, I think the so TPG says fuck Destiny 2. I would have to agree. I like there's actually been a lot of talk about that kind of like imploding right now. I think for me like the difference between something like Call of Duty and Destiny, like the reasons why I don't get tired of Call of Duty but I do of Destiny, I think it's the fact that like the story is allowed to be separated from the multiplayer. Like the fact that like
Okay.
if I want to enjoy a story, I can play a campaign or I can play an event on Warzone or whatever. And then like if I just want to shut my brain off and I just want to like play the game, I can also do that. Like I don't have to pick and choose. Like that was half the reason why I stopped playing cuz like god, everything is just like, "Oh, you got to like you got to be engaged in the story if you want to." And I'm like, "But I don't care. I just want to shoot aliens."
Right. I guess that's kind of where we differ a little bit because I think for Call of Duty, like I don't really play Destiny, but for Call of Duty specifically, I do like when the campaign's a bit more grounded with multiplayer. I think I like I don't know. People always argue that like oh multiplayer shouldn't be realistic. It's not even close to being realistic. You respawn, you regenerate health and all that. And it's like at some point you have to have a video game. Like
Yeah,
you can't. There's no such thing as a realistic video game.
100%. 100%. Like it's like if you want something more realistic, you could go get Tarkov or you could
Hmm.
get Insurgency. Like you don't have to play like I think it's weird when people die on the hill of like, "Oh, I want realism and I'm going to play Call of Duty for that." And I'm like, that's not really like for me that's like maybe at the beginning,
It
maybe.
all depends on what they mean by realism. Like, do they mean game mechanic wise, or are they talking about art style? Because I'm purely art style wise. I like it more grounded art style wise.
Yeah, and I can understand that, like for sure. Like I think art style wise, okay, that makes sense. Like does it throw people off that Spawn is next to like a World War or what was it like when Terminator was in the Vanguard, like thing like that was really off putting because I was like,
It turn chrome and stuff.
yeah, I was like,
uh,
or like
uh,
the Attack on Titan skin. I was like, this is
oh,
weird. I was like, I
that
was like,
hurt.
I don't have a problem with the dissident, like the narrative dissidence of this, but I was like, this is so strange. Um,
Hmm.
and I gotta be honest, there's nothing weirder than shooting Nicki Minaj and 21 Savage. I still haven't gotten over how weird that is.
Yeah, and they stick out too because the maps are still connected to the campaign and the
Uh huh.
military world, right? They're
Yeah.
more they're not as bright. They're kind of grayish. Like not I'm not saying that they're ugly, but they are less poppy as as a pink Nicki Minaj skin, you know? So it's gonna stand
Yes.
out a lot more. Um,
Yes. Like I actually think like as far as like weird skins go, like Spawn didn't stick out too much for me because he was already kind of like half military anyway. Just with like the guns and like the
I
black
seen
and
there were
white.
a couple. There were a couple spawn outfits in the battle pass, right? Like you had the military one, and then you had
Hmm.
the mask one with the green sort of visual effects going on the
Yes.
shoulders.
Yeah, like the most egregious Spawn one is honestly probably just like the actual costume.
Hmm.
But like the clown kind of fits and like all of the other Spawn outfits kind of fit. His like original Al Simmons costume really fits because he's
Yeah.
literally just a soldier.
Hmm.
Um so like all those I think visually fit really well. Vanguard for me was weirder just because it was World War II. And like
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just happy though that
That
they
evolved so
finally
quickly.
it really did. I'm just happy they finally got the thing of like let's let these skins cross over into the next game because to me that was
Mm.
actually part of the reason why I didn't even want to care about the skins like at all. Like I like the skins in Call of Duty and there are some that I'm really interested in getting, but most of the time I don't because they don't cross over. But now that like
It's so expensive.
MW2's yeah, well that's the thing too is it's like I don't want to spend this just to play this for a year and then not get to ever use it again, you know?
Mhm.
So the fact that like they're
Yeah.
actually letting you like take them over to MW3, I'm not like now I can kind of be like, okay, I'm a little more like lenient on it. Like I bought the Ash skin for Warzone, and like it's great because I'm like, okay, well I know I get to use that in MW3.
Mhm.
Plus the fact that we have third person mode now gives me extra reason because now I can actually see the skin too.
Right.
So yeah, I'm like, yeah, it gives me double reason. Um, BG says buy a campaign in Destiny 2 and get it taken away in a year. That's another reason I stopped playing Destiny 2. Because at least with Call of Duty, I can go back and play the campaign. I literally cannot play the Destiny 2 campaign.
I listened to like a certain sort of like I think it was from I Hate Everything. He had a Destiny 2 sort of like review, or not a
Yes.
review, but like a
Yeah.
retrospective on the campaigns and how they do that. That's insane to me. How you can just
Yeah.
take away a whole campaign
Yeah. Like
that you've
World
already
of
bought.
Warcraft, I thought World of Warcraft did that, but then I realized you can actually go back and still like, find the things for World of Warcraft if you want to.
Mhm.
But like that's one thing I cannot stand. Like if you're gonna like if like because I've probably spent I don't know how much money I spent on Destiny, but like I know I bought the Forsaken DLC and then I bought the whatever the Beyond Light one. And like the fact that I there's a chance that I'll never get to play like Beyond Light again, or the fact that I can't currently play Forsaken, that's insane to me. Like I spent money
Yeah.
to play that, but I can't play it anymore. Like it's weird.
How are they not like downloadable content packs like that are optional? Like I don't understand that.
Yeah. And like at least with Call of Duty, like the one thing I can at least say with Call of Duty, it's like, if people want to get butthurt about like skins and stuff, it's like, okay, but at least it's just cosmetic and it's not like, oh, we took the entire game off the market. like
Mhm.
that is
Yeah,
one of my biggest things is it's like at least Call of Duty is still on the market. At least you can still buy it and play it.
we're not that extreme yet.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man. Like I don't know
But
like if you've realized like so many but like there's so many games that like as I've gone to PC I've realized that they just pull off the market because they lose the rights to the property and like
oh,
it's insane that like you can't like just play some of these games anymore. Like the Marvel Ultimate Alliance and stuff like that. Like you can't buy those games anymore and it sucks. It's like how like you guys made this game but because you lost the rights to it, you can't like purchase it anymore.
that's sad.
It's so strange. So like I guess for me the other thing too is it's like at least I know Call of Duty's popular enough that it's probably not going anywhere.
Hmm.
Ah,
I mean, we'll
twinkle.
see what happens when Microsoft gets it.
Yeah,
Hopefully, it's not like the same as Halo Infinite.
I really hope not. Yeah, I really, really hope not. As a big Halo fan, it's been really sad to watch the state of affairs with that. Um,
Yeah,
but at
what exactly
least
happened with it though? Like, was it just like less content like over time, and
I
then
want to say
people got laid
it's
off?
I want to say it's the way that it launched. Because when it launched, it just had a really abysmal like content like amount. And so like when it launched, like you couldn't even pick like team deathmatch like what mode you wanted when it launched. It literally only had it literally like it's like sometimes they take like that map rotation away or whatever. This didn't even let you like pick a mode. They're like, "Okay, you're just in a queue now, so we'll put you in whatever mode we have."
Oh, right. Yeah, it's just like a quick play filter, and then you had the whole issue
Yes.
of people not playing objectives because they wanted to play TDM.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And it was abysmal because it's like if I don't want to play capture the flag, don't make me play capture the flag.
yeah.
Like and so a lot of people got really burnt on that and it dropped pretty quick because people are like, well, this is stupid. And then even though they patched it in a couple weeks, it's like you guys really like dropped the ball like
Mm,
immediately. Um yeah, so it was just
yeah.
that, and then it had a pretty limited amount of maps. Like the gameplay was there, the gameplay was absolutely there, but like the content structure and the very slow rollout of like seasons and everything, I personally think it was just the way it launched. Like it's
Okay.
starting to get a little bit of a comeback, which I'm hoping it continues to. Um, but yeah,
So basically, it was just like negatively received. So they were like, okay, we're just gonna scrap this project. Maybe like lay
yeah,
off a whole bunch of people, let the rest work on it, maybe improve it over time to see if we can scrape a few more bucks.
yeah. They did fire whoever was in charge of, was it whoever was in charge of it? Like, and once they got, I think it was her. Once they got her out, like things almost immediately started getting better. Like they were like more communicative and they were better about like talking with the community and being like, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Here's our roadmap. Here's this. Because the thing is, they were just being so quiet, and it's like you can't do that with a live service game. Like
Hmm.
you need to be communicative. Like especially with something like Halo, if it's going to take the route of a Call of Duty or a Fortnite, like you need to like let people know what you're doing. Um,
Yeah. What would you
yeah.
think? Like to tie this back into MW or yeah, the Modern Warfare franchise. What did you think of Modern Warfare 2's like communication?
Um, I felt. I mean, compared to Halo, I felt like it was like leagues better. um, so like I don't know if maybe I had Stockholm syndrome. So like I was like,
Perhaps.
yeah, it was like it was great, but like everything during the haunting has been pretty good. I feel like, um, but like I'm now kind of like, okay, well the haunting's kind of over, so now I'm kind of waiting to see. But then I'm like, well, we're about to go into Modern Warfare 3, so I guess that's what we're waiting
Mhm.
for. Um, yeah, I
I
guess I'm
watch a lot
just starting
of
to like get used to paying attention. I guess.
yeah. I watch a lot of YouTubers too, like in the COD sphere. I like to see everyone's opinions on stuff, and
Hmm.
I think a common consensus among everyone has been just like the lack of communication with Infinity Ward with MW2. Uh, at launch, they kind of had some intel drops. They were explaining their design decisions around like the maps a little bit. Like for example, they had a Farm 18 one where they were like, okay, so one of the challenges on this map was trying to figure out how much foliage, like how dense our foliage should be on this map. Should it be really dense so the players can hide in it, or can it be like not enough so then it looks kind of aesthetically? So they had to find a perfect balance for that. There wasn't. I guess they kind of explained the center of the map too. They were like, oh, we want like a shoot house sort of combat room in the center of this map, and that was pretty much all they said about their design philosophy. Like they didn't go into anything else really throughout the whole year. Um,
Yeah.
I guess they explained near the start of the year like how they wanted the mini map to work. Like, they were like, we don't want red dots because we want players to focus on
Oh, I
like what's
do
in front of
remember
them.
that. Like I remember a lot of controversy with that. I personally was like,
But
whatever.
it's
We'll
kind of like
just
year three of that, you know?
yeah. I was like, whatever. We'll just kind of see how it plays out. Oh, I'll also hi Jacob. I do see you, and yeah, thank you for thinking that this is better than the Bookie documentary. I actually did watch that
Oh
Bookie
gosh.
documentary. That was terrifying. Um, that's the type of documentary you walk away from, and you're like, I have to make better choices than that person.
Oh no.
You're like, I
Yeah.
have to be better than that. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's terrifying. But yeah, no, I'm still kind of getting used to like paying attention to like the Call of Duty like news and like being up to date on like what actually is happening in the community. But I'm happy that like I'm finally kind of coming around to like just solely focusing on this and not really like I hate to say it, but like I'm not really caring what they tell me about Halo. I'll just play Halo and just let it happen. Jacob says, "Do not watch Drifter. Is Drifter a Call of Duty channel?
Oh, Drifter, yeah, he used to be a Call of Duty channel. I think he branched out a year ago or so,
He drifted.
but he drifted
He
away.
drifted. The
Let me see
worst
what he's up to.
the worst Call of Duty channel I saw was oh, it was some old guy, and he was like, all he does is just complain about Call of Duty. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that complain about Call of Duty, but like this guy exclusively complains. Like that is all he does.
Old
Um,
guys in old channel or old man?
Old man.
Or woman. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't recall him then.
I should
Uh,
see. Oh, Grav says it's 8 thoughts.
oh, Eight Thoughts. Yeah,
Yeah.
so surprisingly enough, Drifter and Eight Thoughts have a history together.
Ah.
Not a good history though. Like it was more so Eight Thoughts had like a I don't know if you saw it, but like he was streaming on Twitch and one of Eight Thoughts real life friends went to Drifter's house to like harass him at night.
Oh my
And I
god.
think he might have been armed or something, and it was a whole situation. It was really bad.
Holy shit. That's terrifying.
Yeah. And it kind of contributed to Eight Thoughts getting his channel removed from YouTube, I think. But
Ah.
Eight Thoughts came back recently on a channel named like Not Eight Thoughts, and he's been
Yeah.
uploading since then. But he hasn't gotten into anything near that level of drama again. Like thank God, don't harass people.
Yeah, my
But
god,
like
man.
God, poor Drifter.
Yeah, that's oh god. That's terrifying. Um
Hmm.
yeah, no, like his he says Jacob says he still whines about skill-based matchmaking. So I can I ask you a question as somebody who's like kind of newer
Sure.
to Call of Duty?
Yeah.
Why is skill? I know the crux of the argument with skill based matchmaking. Do you think it's still a big deal? Like,
No.
okay, I didn't think so. Like, because
I
my thing is
think
just
people, I swear, everyone is up playing it to the max right now. I don't find it too bad. Like at my skill level, I'm at a 1.35 KD right now in Modern Warfare 2. I've been going up every year still. Like MW19, I was kind of high in MW19 at the start of the year, but then I like did the Damascus challenge and I went down to like a 1.1. But every year since then, I've been going up higher and higher. I think Cold War was actually my highest at like a 1.45 KD, something around there. But I've never found skill based matchmaking to be a detriment to the game. Like, I kind of like facing players my own skill level. And Drifter and Exclusive Ace, they are kind of stats guys. They together have done collaborations in the past where they went over skill based matchmaking and its effects in Call of Duty, how what kind of opponents they're getting. Like, they use COD Tracker to kind of get all their information together. Like they researched all their opponents, got the average kill death ratio of everyone. And if you look at those graphs, no one talks about it. You look at those graphs, and people that are like below a zero point 0.9 KD, they're on average getting players in their lobbies, like on the enemy team, that are a little bit higher than them, around like a 1 KD. And people that are above a 1.2 KD, they are getting players on average, enemy players that are lower than them. So technically, people that are above a 1.2 are benefiting off of skill based matchmaking the most.
oh
But it seems like those players are complaining about it the most at the same time, which is kind of where that whole conversation about, oh, you want just if you're complaining about skill based matchmaking and you have a high KD, you just want to smash like kids and do extremely well in the lobbies, right?
see, I
Wait,
just so like I'll have to look at my KD ratio. Is there a way to see it without like going into the game?
unfortunately, not yet.
Okay.
COD Tracker is usually the main source people use, but they haven't like updated their website for Modern Warfare 2 yet for some reason. I'm not really sure why, like if they're having any issues or anything, but it's still not available.
Twinkle says, "Let me clip that real quick." By all
Yes,
means,
please
by all means, please do, Twinkle.
do it.
See, like, because my thing was when I got into playing Modern Warfare 2, I remember, oh, it's this last year's one specifically. I remember hearing so much about skill-based matchmaking because, like, I was getting hyped for the game and I was like, okay, like, let me hear what people's issues are. And I just keep hearing, like, everybody bitch about it. And I'm like, but I don't understand the problem because wouldn't you want to face somebody around your, like, skill level? Like,
I know, right?
I totally don't understand that argument because, like, for example, I'm a big, well, I used to be a big Smash player, right? When I had a Nintendo Switch, I played a lot of Smash Brothers, and I would not want to play a person that is not around my same skill level. Like,
Yeah, because you want to keep that rhythm going,
yeah,
like in a Smash fight.
if I just kept playing people that were worse than me, like no offense to anybody, like I'm not gonna pretend like I'm amazing at Smash, but I got second place in a tournament that I went to one time, so I like to think I'm decent at
Ooh.
Smash. And so like if I just kept playing people that were worse than me, I would never learn anything.
Right.
Yeah, I would never get better. So like I don't understand the idea that skill-based matchmaking is bad. It kind of sounds like people are only upset about it because it's not easy and it's not as what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? It's like
Casual.
yes, thank you. It's like I can't
There you
just turn on
go.
Call of Duty and just shoot people. And it's like, well, you can,
You
but
play game spots.
yeah. Well, and it's like I feel like there are game modes that are suited for that. Like I feel like instead of changing the way that you group with people, they have game modes that are like suited better for that.
Yeah, like gun game or infected. Like they're
Yeah.
party game modes.
Yeah, where they even the score out a little bit. Like that's kind of Halo's whole thing is that it's based around power weapons. And if you
Right.
just play a mode that is based not around power weapons, but like gun game, like you said, or infected, like that's perfect for that.
Yeah, it's perfect for just hopping on and having a chill time. Like you're not playing for stats, but in public matches, you're kind of playing for stats. Like you gotta admit, like you're trying to do better than you usually do. You want to learn the game. You want to get streaks and best your opponents the best you can.
Yeah,
Sometimes, like even in the older CODs without skill-based matchmaking, you would get trashed upon by like the people that were a lot better than you, and then sometimes you would stomp on people that are a lot worse than you.
yeah,
But like it's the same now,
yeah.
you know?
Well, that's the thing is it doesn't feel all that different. Like I didn't get to play a ton of multiplayer back then, but like from what I have played, it doesn't feel all that different. It just feels like there's maybe more people playing now, so there's more like varied skill levels.
Mhm.
But
Something
yeah,
that like is bad though about skill-based matchmaking, like no one wants it. Objectively, no one wants it. People want to have like their connection be the best. They want the ping to be king, as they say. So, like, obviously, I agree with that, and I think they should always go for that. I think they kind of tested the waters with the sort of ping stuff in the MW3 beta weekend number 2, where the connection was kind of getting worse, and it's a lot more noticeable when your time to kill is longer as well.
that would explain
But
why I probably suffered more during the during the beta. Because like I did
mhm.
notice that the time to kill did feel just a tad. Because didn't they increase the health to 150? I thought I
Like
heard.
for the entire game, yeah, not between betas, but for this entire game, yes, it's
Got it.
150 per se. We don't really like you can't really judge what the time the kill is going to be just based on the health either, because you could have 150 health, but you could make the weapon damage like higher or lower to make more variables, and 150
Right.
health could just feel the exact same as 100 health,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If the weapons are different.
So
But
we
the, the time to kill, like how I measure it though, is usually around milliseconds. I think
yeah.
this one was around 250 to 300 milliseconds, around there.
Okay. What was Modern Warfare 2's?
Uh, Actually, I'll look it up maybe. Modern Warfare 2's does fluctuate a lot though, not based on the ping, but based on damage multipliers. Because if you got 2 headshots, it was like a kill in Modern Warfare 2.
Mm,
It was a high multiplier, on the head. But
I could certainly see that.
MW2 TTK. Let me just check the average TTK. Oh, nice. A lovely chart from Exclusive Ace himself. So we have up to MW2's beta here. So Modern Warfare 2 seems to be about 160 milliseconds,
Okay.
which is very close to MW19's, like a tiny bit faster.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2019's looks like it's 180.
I was gonna say, didn't some people think that 2019's was like too slow?
I think people are thinking MW19's was too high.
Or yeah, sorry, that's what I meant.
Like too fast, I guess,
Yeah,
to put it in other words.
yeah,
Um, but Modern Warfare 2019's is pretty in line with World at War, MW2, the OG, and BO1.
yeah. Because
It's
like,
longer than Ghosts, longer than MW3's.
yeah, I know some people really really hate the armor. Actually, going back to the campaign for a slight moment, the Griffin video that I was watching, one of his biggest complaints was the fact that they actually implemented the armor in the campaign. But to
Okay.
be honest, like they didn't put it on every enemy, so like because
Mhm.
he was making it sound like every enemy had the armor, and I was like, but they like not every enemy has it.
No, they didn't. No,
No,
it was a small percentage,
yeah, and it's like
and
you could
you had to armor yourself too.
exactly, and you could normally clearly tell who had armor and who didn't.
Yes, yes,
Like if you
100%.
couldn't, I could certainly understand the frustration more. His biggest one, I think he said, was the snipers, the camo thermal snipers.
On the snow mission.
Yep, he
Okay,
he
I
had a
did.
big problem
Yeah.
with those. But but like outside of that, because to be honest, I think
But it
that
was
was.
kind of nice because like it was one of the final missions in the game, right? Like
Mhm.
difficulty kind of ramps up a little bit, and like I didn't notice they had armor at first either, but like I could tell right away after I shot one,
Yeah.
and
He
then all
was
the rest
like
had armor.
he was really upset because he's like, "Oh, well there's too much armor on them. I should be able to one-shot them." And I'm like, "But," and I
Mm,
was like, "Not necessarily." And I was like, "You got to keep in mind like this your starting weapon for that mission is a P90." And I was like, "If you just like pick up a sniper, they're going to go down much faster."
yeah. So near the start of the mission, you only kill one sniper before you get to the clearing, right?
Yep.
Uh, once you kill that sniper, you just pick up his sniper, and
Yeah.
well, there you go.
And doesn't his sniper have the thermal scope too?
Uh,
Cuz I picked
I
up
Thermal scopes didn't help on that mission though, because the snipers were fully clothed.
oh,
They didn't
that's
show
right.
up on the thermal.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
Yeah, that
I
is a
don't
fair point. I
I don't know if it was thermal, to be
I
honest.
found it a little easier to see them with the thermal, but not because of the thermal itself, just because like I could kind of pick out the black and the green, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Um, Twinkle says those camo snipers were easy though. He says just snipe them back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Uh,
Actually, what I did on that mission though, like I was having a little bit of trouble pushing the snipers themselves head on. So then I was like, I'm just gonna take a left flank, and then I was like, oh shit, they're just hiding behind cover from our
yeah.
teammates still over there, so I got a clear angle at them now.
Yeah, like when they make a comment because you have Shepard with you at that point, and
Yes.
they're like, oh well, we could hug the tree line or we could take them head on, and I'm like, well, if you hug the
Yeah,
tree
they
line,
do.
you could sneak up on them. Um,
Hmm.
and it's like it just depends on like which route you take, but like if you're good enough, you could just sneak behind them. Like you don't technically have to like take them head on.
One moment.
Hmm. While you are doing that, yes, BG, I do like Tony Hawk Pro Skater quite a bit. I actually picked it up on Steam when it came through, and yeah, I beat the two games immediately. I absolutely love Tony Hawk.
All right, I'm back.
No, Grav, I have not got interview with that guy yet. I did leave a comment, and I did mention that he could join the Discord, so he could get a hold of me. But yeah, he hasn't gotten a hold of me yet. But yeah, I'm more than happy to talk with him. Twinkle says the thermal won't pick up their signal, but if you have eyesight, then you should be good.
Mm,
Yep.
yeah.
Exactly.
You gotta like. There's a special thing you gotta do beforehand. It's called peeling your eyes.
You gotta keep your head on a swivel. It was really funny because like when Griffin was talking about it, he was talking like it was the hardest thing to see these snipers, and I was like, I mean, if you know what you're looking for, it's not really.
Yeah.
Like,
Once you find the first one, it's like, okay, that's what they look like. I guess they're a little bit hard to spot because they're wearing camouflage like a sniper would be.
yeah, which
But
like I was kind of happy. I
yeah,
was like, this might be the first time a sniper is wearing good camouflage. Like, finally.
yeah.
But like once you see them moving, like I mean, they're pretty telltale.
Or their scope glint.
Yeah, yes, yes, the good old scope glint.
Hmm.
Twinkle says school 2 1v1 win. Ooh, he's talking about Tony Hawk. Yes, we should absolutely. I will let you know, Twinkle. That was one of the first games I ever played. So my cousin still owes me from pro score that I got on that growing up. uh, and then TPG says Fortnite is better than COD. Why Halo skin? To be honest, so I don't have anything against Fortnite, but I don't particularly love Fortnite. And I think it's just because I don't want to exclusively label it because of the player base, but I think I don't care for the player base as much.
I don't know.
Yeah, like and it's not that I think Fortnite's bad. Like I think Fortnite is fine. I think it unfairly gets shat on a lot. Um, like I really don't think it's that bad, but I personally prefer COD or Halo.
As a game or community?
Yeah, just as a game.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love Fortnite. I think the support for it's great. I don't think they've really disappointed me in Fortnite as much as COD sometimes does. But
that's fair. Yeah, I mean one
they're
thing I
both
will
good
say.
franchises, though.
Yeah, one thing I will say is like Fortnite is very like they're very good about being upfront with what they're doing.
Hmm.
Like I feel like there's never a point like I always know what's happening with Fortnite even though I don't play it. Like like that should say a lot about how good they are at communicating. And I feel like
Yeah,
COD
the
could
OG map
definitely
just came back.
yeah, like
I'm sure you saw that.
yeah, I did see that. And I was like the fact that I know about that and I don't even play Fortnite is very funny to me. Like that's the type of exposure and communication that I think COD could benefit from.
Hmm. Did we want to dive into the campaign again? Because I do gotta go soon.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have any kind of like lasting thoughts or impressions on it, yeah, I would love to. Yeah, sorry. Got kind of
Ooh,
sidetracked.
yeah. To circle back to, I guess the plot holes and stuff. I don't think MW3 actually had like any plot holes that were noteworthy and that come to mind to me. Compared to MW2 especially because like MW2's plot holes, like for example, you had that one guy you detained after you crossed the border. I forget his name, but
Oh yeah.
he tells you I've done no crimes, yet he's shot a rocket launcher off at two policemen before you tried getting him in his house that he also burned down with one of your crew members in there.
As he also ran
um,
through a bunch of other people's houses, which could be considered breaking and entering.
yeah, but like there's that one, and then wasn't there some more in that campaign as well? Oh, the Graves betrayal.
Yeah.
Why do it then? Why do it then? Or you get the missiles? Like, what was the point? It
Yeah.
made no sense.
The whole Graves betrayal felt a little like we need betrayal because it happened in the second game 10 years ago or
Hmm.
whatever time frame. Like it didn't feel like super necessary. Whereas like I feel like a lot of the callbacks that this campaign had felt more like a love letter to the series as opposed to let's do this because Call of Duty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like so the betrayal itself though, like it wasn't very smooth. I would say. I think smooth is the best word you could say
I would
in
agree.
Modern Warfare 2. But then they have like they bring that back up in MW3, and it feels natural. Like if they were already enemies, like in the past, like and they're trying to be teammates, like they're kind of iffy around each other. They like Graves goes to shake Farah and what's his name, Alex's hands. He
Yeah.
shakes them both, and he goes to Soap, I believe, to shake his hand, and Soap's like, no,
Yeah, Soap
I'm
just
not
like
shaking
walks
that.
away. He's like, uh-uh. And I like
Hmm.
the idea. I like that too because like it kind of does a good job of like Because like Alex kind of had to learn to trust a little bit in the first campaign.
Yeah.
With like Farah and like her like whole unit basically. And I
Mhm.
like the idea that he's like now kind of willing to trust a bit more. And so he's like, you know what? Okay, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And then Soap is like, nah, I've been burned too many times. He's like, I'm not.
Yeah.
It just says a
And
lot about the
Alex was
character.
Yeah, and Alex was kind of like, oh, I wish we, or Farah or Alex, I forget who it was, but they're like, oh, I wish we could all just get along again, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Or he's like, yeah, yep, we all work as one. And I'm like,
Man.
yep,
Dude, this
basically.
campaign was good. I love the story and just the characters overall, how they interact. And
Yeah.
like earlier on too, we had an interaction with, I guess it's more spoiler territory, I guess. Do we want to get into spoiler
You know
territory?
what? Yeah. Let's go ahead and go into spoiler territory. If you
Yeah.
do not care about Call of Duty spoilers, then you're gonna be fine here. But if you do care about Call of Duty spoilers, yeah, we're gonna
It's your
talk.
final warning.
This is your final warning. Get
Get
out
out of
now.
here, Scram.
We're gonna talk about that scene where Makarov kisses Soap, and then
hmm
and then
As we've seen on Prestigious Keys
yeah,
thumbnail.
yeah, and then he marries Price, and then Shepard and him have a
hmm
baby. And no, I'm just kidding. uh,
Bride Makarov walks down the aisle with all the
yeah,
flower petals.
Vladimir Makarov.
Yuri's his best man.
Do you take Soap McTavish?
But
Yeah,
yeah, so between Farah and Price, they had a conversation earlier on in the campaign in this like oh the atmosphere, the level or not the level, but the area too. Like it was all forested, like kind of like fall, and leaves were like falling, I think too, or something. It was just beautiful. But they were talking about like where Farah got the missiles from, and like her
yeah.
missiles that were stolen, and he was like trying to pry her on about like if it was General Shepard, it's not a good idea, and she's like, it's none of your business, but it kind of gives it away that yes, it was from General Shepard,
Mm.
and he's like, we are not like friends with General Shepard anymore, and he kind of like really tries to express that to her, and I just thought that was like really well done.
Yeah, and I like the whole so one thing I thought was interesting, I think I was reading it in I think it was the IGN review. It was either the IGN review or the Games Radar review. They were saying that the motivations for what Makarov wanted wasn't clear, and I was like, that could not be
What?
further from the truth because they
No.
spend the entire campaign talking about how he wants to pit the West versus the East. That is the
Yes.
entire that's the entire plot.
Did you? Okay. Did you see Infinite Warfare's campaign?
Yes, I did.
Do you remember the villain at the very start of the campaign?
Yeah,
I think it was it Wolf or no, not Wolf. It was
I call him Jon Snow because it was the
Jon Snow.
Kit
Yeah,
Harington. But yeah,
Commander Koch. That's his name.
yeah,
Um, so you remember how he treated his teammates, like teammates, his other Mars soldiers,
hmm
like what was it? It was he did a speech. It was caring is for the weak, and then he shot him.
yes, yes,
Compare that to what Makarov did in this campaign
yeah.
to Nolan or Ivan, whoever it was.
Oh yeah, Ivan. Yeah, when he shoots Ivan at the beginning, I was like, he gives the speech about the fact that that like your like loyalty
Loyalty.
is what we have, and that is like the most important thing. And I
And
was
you didn't
like,
trust me.
yeah. And then like that part where you have to go get Nolan, where you have to like exfil him. I'm like, dude, I was like, I'm not even sure. Like after having seen the way Makarov's team works, I was like, I don't even know that he's gonna talk. I was like, it almost feels like kind of a useless thing. Um, which I
I
was
love the camaraderie he has with his soldiers too, though. Like Makarov made sure that he had his. I think it was Nolan who lives, right? Like Ivan was the one who
yes,
died.
yes, Ivan was
Okay,
the one that died. Hmm
so yeah, he pulls Nolan in on the ship as they're getting out of the Gulag area, right?
hmm
Like Makarov gets on first. He makes sure you're up there with him. He's like your
Yes,
best man. It was, and then when he gets into his base with the Coney group, he goes like open arms with what's her name?
Mela.
Melina?
Yes, I almost called her
Melina?
Melanova, but I was like, I don't think it's that.
Yeah, it's like a reunion. Everyone's happy, and then he has the speech with Ivan, and then
Yeah,
it's not even Makarov the one to shoot him. It's Nolan,
yeah,
and then he gives his patch to Nolan, and I was like,
yeah.
oh shit!
But you know what's
Like that was
funny?
so
You
good.
know what's really cool though is it's like he took the patch off Ivan, almost saying like, okay, he's free game now. Like,
Yeah, it was like a bunch of hyenas after him, like the
yeah,
Lion King.
like okay, who's gonna take his position? And then Nolan sees it and he's like, okay,
He
I'm
went
the
in for
one.
that opportunity.
Yeah, and then he
and it
goes,
and it's
yep,
also sorry, it also goes to show that it's not just Makarov who has this ideal. It's the whole group that
yeah,
believes in it.
yeah. Like the fact that the whole Coney group feels so like they feel like a mindset because one thing I never
The
really
elitist.
got. Yeah, one thing I never really got playing Modern Warfare 2, like the original, was that like I never really got the impression that like all the soldiers really cared about Makarov's thing
Hmm.
because like we never really got to like know anything about them. We never got to see them interact with Makarov really outside of No Russian.
Yeah.
Not that I can like think of off the top of my head anyway. But like this, like you really get the sense that like everybody is on board with Makarov and they're all like, yeah, no, we all stand for the same thing, and you know we'll be damned if we don't go down with him.
Yeah, they all have a common goal and they're just in for it.
Yeah,
But they also are like flawed people too, as we saw with Melina. Like she cares about her money more than I guess
more than
losing it.
Makarov.
Yeah, with Makarov.
Do we want to
Um,
talk about the this game's version of No Russian?
yes. I
The
thought it was well
the
done.
the passenger.
Yeah, the passenger. Let me see there. Where is it? Passenger. So that one we play as Samara, one of Farah's friends, I guess, from the past.
Yeah. Um. So
It was so scary.
oh my god. The moment that you're looking at your phone and the guy next to you is like, "You have a lovely family." I'm like, "Oh no."
Oh no!
I was
And
like,
then he calls out the name of one of them.
"Yeah,
It just keeps escalating.
you
It's
just
like oh no,
know."
oh no, oh no! He knows everything.
Yeah, you just know. And then like the terrifying nature of that scene is when he pulls the gun on you and then knowing that you'll grab the gun from him because it's like
Mm,
that's what he
mhm.
wants you to do but you don't realize that, and so then
Yeah,
when you do stand up everybody automatically is like, oh no, she's got a gun, and there's
yeah,
no time for explanation because that's absolutely how that would play out. Like,
yeah. Like it
oh
was also just it's so scary that it's like they used her for her race too, just to frame it that way.
yes, that was terrifying.
Like
Like I really felt like
the helplessness of that is like God,
mhm.
they really set this up for us.
Yeah, and then when they come out and they're all like they're the Russians, but they're all like we're the ULF and she's one of us, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, don't
Hmm.
group me in here. And then like it's really sad because even when the air marshals are like fighting, like when the few of the guards on the plane are shooting at you and at them, even when even when you shoot them, it's like they don't care. Like it doesn't matter to them, and they still try and shoot you.
Those were the wait. Who was shooting at us at the front of the plane?
Like when they come out like at the beginning, and like there's that really small firefight,
Yeah,
but
who was like I was Makarov's Coney group, right? Wasn't it?
yeah, yep,
Okay,
yeah.
sorry, I just thought you said it was someone else or a
Oh no,
different team,
yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like, wait, what?
Yeah, it was just a few people that are basically like giving, like letting the passengers know that the plane is being overtaken, and
Mhm.
then like, and then when they come out, and then Makarov comes in, puts the bomb vest on you, and he's like, okay, he's like, you're gonna blow up this plane, you're gonna kill all these people, and I'm like, that is awful. Like, oh man,
Yeah,
it's just so bad. And then the worst part is like not only like are you responsible because you're the one holding this bomb vest, but then like when you try and get to the phone and but you have the gun and you're the reason. Like
Hmm.
it's so sad. It's just so sad.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It was so
Yeah.
damn. And then like the mission after it too, where you're playing as Farah trying to get rid of that evidence. Like I was just like, oh god, oh no,
Yeah.
this is like really bad framing for us as
It
well as
yeah.
Farah.
It felt so dirty, but I was like, if you don't do it, the alternative is that war happens. And I was
Hmm.
like, it's really not like it's not a good scenario on either side, but like that's what I like about this new Modern Warfare trilogy is like how gray it makes everything.
It
Because
was like how easy some decisions are to make, but like at the same time, it's like hard to not make that decision, you know?
yeah, and what I love too is like the gameplay kind of reflects your helplessness in that situation because they give you the
Mhm.
gun and you're supposed to your lizard brain is like, "Oh, I got to shoot people." But then you're like, "Wait, these are all civilians. I don't want to shoot anybody." But
Yeah,
like,
like when you're trying to get the phone.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, do I aim at them maybe to push them out of the way like I did in MW19, right?
Yeah.
Or in MW2, like in the trailer park?
Yeah, and then you're like, or do I know
But no, they
Russian
attack
this?
you.
You're like, do I know Russian this? Do I shoot people to save everybody on this plane or no? It's
Yeah.
oh, it's just so good. Like to me, that is where like the Modern Warfare trilogy, like this new one, is at its best. Is when it's putting you in those really uncomfortable situations, and it's like really
Hmm.
making you question the morality of the situation you're in.
Yeah, yeah.
But
And even with like Farah's mission after the airplane, I was like during my stream of the campaign, I was like, okay, so I personally, like as a outside viewer, I'd probably see Farah having a better sort of like outcome if she herself was the one to release the information or her government release
right.
the information, so that it's not coming from the Russians trying to expose them, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
at least they're trying to. It doesn't look like they're trying to get rid of the information. So I thought Makarov maybe would have tried to
The
show
only
that they were trying to
thing
get rid of it. But
I was wondering about is
yeah.
when they come up on the scene, like
Hmm.
of the airplane and everything, like because they said, okay, well, we got to get here before the authorities do. I'm like, when they say get here before the authorities, like when you leave all those like Russian bodies, like obviously we know it's the Coney group, but
Oh
aren't they
yeah.
going to be able to tell that like they were shot?
Yeah, like after the fact that the crash happened.
Yeah. So I was like, that was the
Mm,
only thing I was like, I wonder.
there's that too, yeah.
Yeah, but I guess they also have footage of people with guns, so it is plausible that it could be somebody on the plane. But yeah, I'm just curious, like if somebody would put that together.
Yeah, like the tension was kind of there, but like I guess they resolved that sort of tension at the end of the campaign in court, right? With
Yeah,
General Shepard and
yeah.
Graves.
I love that scene.
Me too.
I loved watching like those two just turn on each other and just
Yeah.
the absolute tension in the courtroom, and you could feel everybody watching just being like, you guys are terrible.
Trying to save their own skin. They're
Hmm.
only in it for themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it felt like have you ever seen the movie oh shoot, what's the movie called? It's the movie A Few Good Men, where Jack Nicholson says you can't handle the truth. There's
Dang. No, I haven't seen it.
okay.
Sorry.
Okay, well it's a great movie, but like there's that part where he is like questioning Jack Nicholson and he says that line, you can't handle the truth. It gave me those vibes where it's like you like I do what I do because I have to. Like you can't understand. I'm like that's it's so good because you understand why he did what he did, but it's like it still doesn't excuse it.
Yeah, to quote Shepard himself, sometimes you gotta do bad to do some good.
Mm-hmm.
But also to quote Captain Price right after, well, you don't bury your allies in that shit, do you?
No.
No.
And of course, I guess finally we should talk about the one that we lose.
Ah,
The
yes, our good boy Soap
soap,
McTavish.
soap McTavish. So sad. I did find it interesting. Grav pointed out earlier. He's like, Ghost is kind of a lesser character than Soap. So he's kind of surprised that like it would be Soap, but I feel like they've spent a lot of time really fleshing out Ghost in this trilogy, as opposed to Soap.
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean, granted, we've really only had, I guess, 2 games with Ghost, but I kind of feel like they.
I think that's kind of some people's criticism with this campaign too, like how Soap died in it, right?
Yeah,
Without like that much development. But I really strongly feel like that's more of a problem with MW19 and MW2 not including a better introduction for Soap.
yeah. I also have to say too, like I could see maybe somebody saying like, "Oh, well, he died so abruptly," but I'm like, that's kind of the point, though. Like the
Hmm.
point is it's like it's not glamorous. Like, what? Like, did you want him to just go out in like a blaze of glory? It's like, no, man. It's like Makarov just comes up while you're trying to. Like, could you think of a better way though? Like, you're trying to undo. Like you have Makarov by the balls basically, and you're trying to
Yeah,
undo his like last ditch effort. And
his
Makarov's
little machine,
yeah, and
his
Makarov's
fun
just
box.
like yeah, he's like, you know what? Because you're going to try and ruin me, I'm gonna make you pay for it. I think
Oh, dude, the
soap is the
foreshadowing though.
consequence. Yeah, it's like
Did you
soap is
notice that
oh what
in the mission with the stadium
yes, where he says,
when
"Well,
Soap
I'll see you
interacted with
again."
McTavish or not McTavish, Makarov? Yeah,
Yeah, yes, when he goes, we'll see each other again, and next time,
yeah, because Soap was the one who was well, I guess Makarov exploded the airport, right? And Soap got mad, like real mad at him, and he like threw him to the ground. Price told him to get off, like they have him detained, and then Makarov was like, "Oh, I'll get you for that," and
uh
like
huh,
he did.
he did. Yeah, well, and that's the thing too. Like when that, I think that's the thing that confuses me is like this campaign is so like it's so well structured with that stuff that like it
I
confuses me.
love how intertwined it is.
Yeah, like the fact that you're able to pick up on so much of this in a Call of Duty campaign. Like
Yeah, I couldn't even say that for the previous two Modern Warfare campaigns. Like
no, no,
the
like
characters were just so well done. It
yeah,
was is like the webs were in place for this campaign, and I really like that.
yeah. I mean, I literally, I'm not like even trying to come at this as like a contrarian thing. I literally just feel like people are off. Like whatever hit with this campaign, I just want to know like what hit different for people that makes them feel this way because like if it's the mission structure, maybe I could understand that for the open parts,
Hmm.
but like
Hmm.
outside of that, I don't get it.
Wow, how so low? Like that's also what I'm asking. I'm just like, well,
Yes.
I guess if they didn't like it, it would be just average for them. But they're like, no, this is the worst Call of Duty campaign ever. And I
That
just don't understand.
that's the thing I don't get either. Is like so I actually did want to pull up now that we'll make this like the last thing if you want.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. I pulled up so the person that reviewed it for IGN, they
Let me
ranked the
just-
Call of Duty campaigns for IGN. And I
Oh,
thought
okay.
this was interesting to kind of get
Oh
into their
God.
head. Yeah, I thought this was interesting to get into their head. So I'm not familiar with all the campaigns because I haven't played all of them.
Oh shoot. One sec.
But oh yeah,
Okay, there we go.
okay. So I'm not familiar with all the campaigns, but I know the ones that are like the most popular. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Black Ops 1 and 2,
Hmm.
obviously Modern Warfare 1 and 2, classics. I know World at War is kind of an underrated one, and then I know there's a lot of love for both Advanced Warfare. Oh wait, Infinite Warfare is not on here.
What the heck?
I just realized that they didn't
Screen is
even
a little
rank
bit
this.
blurry for me, but
Oh, sorry about that. Is that any better?
no, I think it's just Discord's bitrate. It's just not very good right now. I don't know why. Like when you keep it frozen, usually the bitrate gets better, but it's not.
That's weird. Yeah, so there are
If you want to
canonic.
just read it off
Yeah,
for
I'll
me,
read it
that'd be
off for
great.
you. So they've got listed number 1 and 2. We've got the first one being Modern Warfare, and then number 2 is Modern Warfare 2. I
The
think
original.
that's safe. I get that.
Yeah.
Number 3 they have listed Call of Duty 2.
Okay, I never played that one.
No. But I've never heard anybody say that the campaigns for like those original ones were so amazing that they would go in
Yeah,
like the top echelon.
same.
Um,
And then we got World at War,
World at War.
MW19.
Yep. Number six, the
So World at
original
War, I
Call of
know is
Duty.
really good. Sorry,
Um,
World at War I've heard is really good. I haven't played it, but MW19, it was pretty good. Then we have
Number six is the original Call of Duty.
okay,
Um, Number
never
seven
played it.
is Cold War. We don't. This is the first
Interesting.
Black Ops game we have on here, by the way.
No, no, no. Oh God, that's
Yeah,
awful.
that's the first.
Oh, how? Like for starters, the main character is silent. Secondly, they kind of they butchered Woods a little bit. Like, I'm a goddamn onion mason. Like, no, no, you're not.
Yeah, I just. Oh, my wife says dinner will be ready in like 10.
Ooh, okay, let's make this fast then.
Yes, yes. I don't understand that because Black Ops 1 and 2 are like way under Cold War, which is strange. Number 8 is Modern Warfare 3.
Okay,
That feels about right, I would think.
yeah, it's pretty good. I thought
Yeah. Black Ops is number 9. I
Black
feel
Ops
like
for me would be like number two.
that's what I thought. Like most people love Black Ops. Like it's in their top 5 almost always. They put World War II at number 10,
That
meaning
is
that
so
World War
hard.
II is above Black Ops 2.
Okay,
uh,
sure.
okay.
The original Call of Duty
Call of Duty 3 as number
3.
11. Then Black Ops 2 at number 12.
Mm-hmm.
13 is Call of Duty Vanguard.
Is
Uh,
it right beside Black Ops 2? Oh no.
I can't believe that. Then you've got Modern
Okay.
Warfare 2.
Mm.
Then you've like this 2022. Then you've got Advanced Warfare.
Oh, that's
Then
so
you've
wrong.
then you've got Ghosts,
Okay.
and then you've got this year's Modern Warfare 3. And there's no Infinite Warfare on here at all.
That is that's blasphemy.
Yeah, that's like what is that?
So
I
like for me personally, let's just go through this real quick. I'd probably put near the top. I'd put MW3, Advanced Warfare, uh Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, MW3, maybe MW19, and then I think a lot of the rest are pretty average.
like you could
The
kind
worst
of
ones,
sift in and out.
yeah, like good to average.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bad ones I would say are probably Ghosts, which I think is accurate. Vanguard and Black Ops 3. I don't think Black Ops 3 is on here either.
Oh yeah. Black Ops 3 isn't on here either. What the hell? I knew we were
Hmm.
missing another one because I was like, dude, we got 20 years of Call of Duty and we're missing like
Yeah.
what 3 games?
IGN's out of touch. Let's just say that.
Very much so.
God.
Yeah, but yeah, they gave this a 4 out of 10, which is the same score that they gave to Gollum
Shit.
this year. Um, and their summary of it was underbaked, rehashed, and cobbled together from multiplayer parts. Modern Warfare 3 single player campaign is everything a Call of Duty story mode shouldn't be.
Okay, first of all, multiplayer parts is wrong. What they should be saying is Warzone parts, if they want to be somewhat accurate,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't know if the campaign was made before Warzone or not yet.
Yeah, and
None of it was from multiplayer parts.
how would they know if they haven't played the multiplayer yet?
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe I
well,
mean beta, maybe.
what would they be talking about? Like shared weapons? Like Call of Duty's always done that. What do you
Well,
mean?
that's the other thing too. Is it's like they're acting like this is the first time, which I think is weird.
Mm. The single
Twinkle
player
says what
is
you're
the
seeing is advanced
touch.
warfare.
What we're seeing is advanced reviewing.
Yeah, really. Like we're taking a real big step back. Like
What do they
did
mean by like underbaked and rehashed? Like
I?
no Russian was original this time. Like they changed it a lot. It was still a terrorist attack, but it was original.
Yeah. Well, and what I can't help, so there is like somewhere in this review. If you haven't read this review, I would urge you to do it for the cringe. Um, because
Yeah.
there's a part earlier in here where they're like actually trying to compare the state of the like political, the basically like the political nature of war with the world and the political nature of the game, and it's
Mhm.
really dumb because I don't understand like at all.
Is it like culture war stuff, or what are we
Uh
talking about exactly?
I think it was. Oh
Because
yeah, they
I
were
don't know. I
talking
feel like it's
about.
kind of a realistic depiction.
Well, that's what I thought as well. They think that it's not detailed enough, which I was like,
Hmm.
didn't you guys like complain that Modern Warfare 2019 was too detailed?
How much more, like, what kind of detail are they looking for?
Exactly. Like I'm a little confused by what it is that they want.
Hmm.
Oh, I also thought it was weird when they said it makes so they said limited thrills, fairly obvious twists, and nostalgia plays. I would like to know like what were the obvious twists?
There
Because
weren't many twists, were
no,
there?
there was. I mean, the only thing I can think of is the post credit scene.
That was a good twist, and I did not think that would happen
No, that's
with
the
Shepard
only.
and Price.
Yeah, that's
Like,
the only twist I can think of. And I other than that, I can't really think of any twist. I
I
mean,
just I
unless you're
just want to say
talking
also
passenger.
about that scene. Like that characterized Captain Price so damn well. That is the best Captain Price I've ever seen.
It
Like
is.
from the series.
It is.
Like he gives that speech in Modern Warfare 2019 to Gaz about you got to get dirty so the world stays clean, and he actually like does
He
it on
does
his own
just
morals.
that. Yeah.
And I didn't think he would do it because like I thought that was too out of character, but like no, that just defined him more as a character.
Yeah. This I absolutely disagree with. They say the AI is dumb as bricks. They run out of cover with abandon and into the deadly arms of gunfire.
That's a case of playing on recruit mode. Let's be honest.
Yes, that's the IGN friendly mode. Um,
Yeah.
the part that I disagree with is this next part. It's very kind of them to sit absolutely still while you line up sniper shot after sniper shot, noticing their friends' heads burst around them, but doing absolutely nothing to avoid them. Uh,
Mm,
they absolutely though like if somebody noticed that their guy got sniped, they absolutely go behind cover. So I don't understand
yeah.
that. Very very
Yeah, like if
strange.
they're in a certain range around each other, they notice. So
Yeah,
I don't know what they're talking about. Like, are they talking about the open world mission with the crane? Like they definitely saw. Like I do. I took sniper shots off from that crane that I talked about earlier in this
absolutely.
recording or stream, and they noticed. They shot at me.
Yeah. And a lot of them will like get behind a car or they'll get behind a shipping crate
Yeah.
or they'll do something like
They'll try to run around, like scatter, like bugs. You know,
yeah.
they're scared.
Yeah,
But
it's
like,
very
it's also
weird.
not. It's not worse than other Call of Duties. It's
No.
better, I think.
So okay, so here's that part I was talking about with the politics part. So it says it's a shame that the campaign doesn't look to explore the themes further, especially in a time when the issues it takes on are so prescient. What is this word?
Oh, dang, the screen's not even.
Having or
Oh,
showing knowledge or events before they take place. That
having or
that
showing knowledge of events before they take place.
how would they know?
Wait,
That's
can you read it again?
yeah.
What was the definition?
Having or showing knowledge of events before they take place.
So
How?
they're saying it's trying to predict the future if it were to happen.
But it kind of does.
Dude, I honestly feel like politics are in that shitty state right now that it is a
Yeah.
very possible sort of
Yeah,
thing that
like
could
as far as
happen.
I'm concerned, everything that happened in this game could very well happen. uh,
Yeah.
it says instead, Modern Warfare 3 opts to engineer pure shock Rather than smartly comment on the morally complex topics it eagerly takes advantage of for entertainment value. I think that's an unfair criticism because the passenger mission alone, I feel, says a lot with saying a little.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would very much disagree with that because I think the passenger mission alone, like, you really feel the weight of that situation, like, big time.
Yes, that's a perfect way to put it. You feel
Yeah,
the weight of that situation on the rest of the world if that got out, if that
yeah.
information got out.
And the way that they talk about the news and the way they talk about the way that it's going to be perceived by other people and the populace, and then the fact that you get to see, like, what happened with that and other events actually, like, how it affects the world, like, I don't know. I just really disagree with the pure shock thing. I don't think they were doing it for shock. I think they actually managed to have pretty good social commentary.
The only one, I guess, like the only death really that I thought maybe would have been done for shock value instead of like emotional value, right? Is Farah's friend at the second mission in the game,
Yeah.
where she gets sniped out of the car. It's like we didn't know her,
Yeah.
and she died there. That was for shock value, of course, but it
Yes.
wasn't like in your face, like, oh, you should feel sad about this or anything, right? It's like, oh, you should feel a little bit sad for Farah, I guess, because she was upset.
Yeah.
But like, it wasn't
Well, and also, like, if
like,
you played 2019, you already know Farah. So the idea that, like, like, you got to spend a good 5-6 hours with Farah. So now watching all of that work that you did in 2019 try to get corrupted by
mhm.
Makarov, like, that's kind of heartbreaking because it's like you fought in 2019 to make Urzikstan a better place, and now you're watching everybody try to, like, pin them as the
Stir up
bad guy.
the pot again.
Yeah. I don't know. I think ultimately, like, the campaign, I think it was really good.
Mhm.
And I think it had a lot of really interesting things to say. Which is weird
Yeah,
because I don't think I've ever said that about a Call of Duty campaign.
yeah. An interesting comparison I made earlier was that, like, not here, but somewhere else, was that like this game does set up Modern Warfare 4 in a good way, I
Yes.
think. Like better than I think specifically Spider-Verse, like the recent Spider-Verse did,
Mm.
Across the Spider-Verse.
I did not see that, but I
Oh,
will
okay.
take your word. I will take your word for it.
See, like, whereas Spider Verse, I feel like does a lot of build up and references that, like, I don't even get all the references just because there's so many of them, and it kind of relies on that for
Yeah.
filler, I guess. I don't feel like this campaign did that at all.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I don't think that, like, I don't feel like it was hamstrung by needing to rehash stuff. I felt like it did a good job of, like, hey, we're going to have our own missions, we're going to have our own themes, we're going to have our own, like, set pieces, and they're going to be a little bit more realistic, but they're going to
Yeah.
be what we want them to be.
Interestingly enough, like, Soap dies in this version of the universe before Ghost, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's, in a way, he's kind of like Ghost because he was introduced in MW2 in the original Ghost, and he died in MW2.
I
He
noticed the
wasn't really a character we bonded
parallels.
with. It was
Yeah,
kind of like that
I
here
was noticing the
with our Soap.
parallels. Like,
Hmm.
when Shepard shows up and they hand him the gun, I was like, are they going to? Are they going, like, when we're getting in the chopper? I was like, are they going to turn this
Oh,
into
dude.
the
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2 thing where Shepard is, like, gonna shoot you before you get in? And then I realized,
Dude, I was also calling that out.
yeah,
I was
that
like,
was
oh shit,
my
this is all too familiar. But then it
yes.
didn't do it. And I was like, oh, thank God they didn't rehash
Yeah.
that.
Then they flipped it on its head and they're like, we're going to surround Shepard and we are going to make him pay. And I was like,
Hmm.
that's so cool.
That was, I love that. That like, it's such
Yeah.
a good moment.
Well,
I think that
especially
would be a
too
classic.
because, like, we're years of jaded Call of Duty fans where we're like, man, I still can't believe Shepard got one over on, 141. And then it's like we
Mhm.
finally got to kind of see, like, Shepard kind of get his. And it was really it was nice to see.
Make him eat his own medicine. Yeah.
So, yeah, final thoughts for me. I thought it was really great, and I think a lot of the hate is just not very. Yeah, I think it's kind of unnecessary, personally.
I think a lot of the hate is honestly like riding off of first impressions and general, I guess, hate that this game has already received for being like on a low sort of development cycle,
Yeah.
like a short development cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And they're kind of just trying to ride off of that to say that this is bad when, like, yeah, you could like use those facts like that contributes to it, but at the same time, like, I feel like you're not really taking in the substance of the campaign itself into account.
Yeah, like
It,
take the state of Activision Blizzard, take like the companies that made it, take all that and put it to the side and just like play the game. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I feel
Rate
like
it for what
that's
it is.
yeah, I feel like that's something that a lot of people have a hard time doing nowadays. Is like they can't just play the game; they have to like play the game, but then they also have to comment on it, and then they also have to like realize that oh, we're also like are they going to charge us this much for this, and then this and this, and it's like dude, just enjoy the game, like just play it,
Mhm.
and if you really didn't like it, if you didn't have any fun with it, okay, that's fine, but don't just go in and listen to everybody talk about it. Like, form your own opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, like, I would still recommend people to wait for this game to go on sale, like at Boxing Day. It's like what 2 months away. um,
Yeah. I don't disagree with that
but
at
like
all. Especially if you're a campaign
more
person.
so, especially if you've played the multiplayer before, like those maps. Like, I know there's different movement and gunplay and stuff, but if you've already played the maps before, you may as well wait. You can watch the campaign on YouTube if you're kind of debating on getting it or not.
Yeah.
Um, and zombies, we haven't seen anything about it yet either, so there's just more reason to wait instead
Yes.
of putting blind faith in a pre-order.
And we can certainly circle back to the conversation on if the game is worth it with Grav as well. When Zombies comes out, like when the full game releases, and we've
Right.
had the weekend or week to play it, I think it would be worth revisiting. Like, hey, how do we feel about it now that we've had a week with it, or how do we feel now that we've actually got the other 2/3 of the game?
Yeah, that'd be fun. I would be down for that.
Yeah. Well,
And
that's
yeah,
yeah.
overall, I think this campaign was pretty good too. I wouldn't say any campaign's worth $70, of course, but I think for this being 1/3 of the game, it is definitely worthy of like what $20, $25,
Yeah.
whatever 1/3 is like alone. Like I think that's good.
Yeah. And if the other 2/3 of the game hold up, then yeah, it very well might be worth the price. But that's why
Campaign's not
we,
holding it down for sure.
yeah, absolutely. That's why we put our money on the line to tell you. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, Matt, thank you for taking the time to talk with me about the campaign. I had a lot of
Thank
feelings
you
and a lot
too.
of thoughts, and I just needed to get them off my chest with somebody who understood my plight.
Oh my gosh, my dogs are acting up right now. I'm sorry. I'm
Oh,
also gonna have to go, but thank you so much too.
yes, no problem, my
Thanks for
man.
having me on.
Absolutely. I
It's been
will
great.
let you go, but yeah, thank you for coming in, and we will reconvene.
Yes, sir. When zombies and the multiplayer come out, yeah, we'll try to do
Yes.
that with
Hun-
Gravity too.
yes, 100%. All right, my man. You take care.
You too, man. Peace out.
Bye bye. All right, fam. Well, that is my thoughts with Matt. So I will go ahead and call the stream here, but thank you so much for coming by. Hopefully, what we said made sense. Yeah, Mattsuki moment. Absolutely. Yeah, but yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Honestly, play the campaign. Like, if you're going to buy the game anyway, play it. Give it a shot. It's fun. It's a good time. Yeah. So with that being said, I will let you guys go. I'm gonna go eat dinner, and you guys all have a great night. I might stream some later. We'll see. But yeah, in the meantime, you guys take care.